No, I'll just ask you, I mean, did they give you a warning for humanity? Do we need to be on the lookout for where we are headed?
Yes, yes. In the last of the connection, in the when they understood that I cannot stand the connection anymore because it was too strong for me, they decided to go. But before of that, the one that was standing near me gave me a different connection. He gave me a vision, like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And in the movie, I was inside of the movie, and I saw myself standing on a green field uh, with the blue sky and a beautiful day with the cows near me. And suddenly a fire burst from the horizon and burned everything. And I felt from that it was it was a it was pain of like it was my responsibility of what happened. Me is us. I mean, when they talking to
Yeah.
me, it was talking to the oneness, and the feeling of the responsibility and the pain that I had was like I understood that they let me understand that that things that we do can ruin ourselves and on earth. I mean, animals and I quietly understand that because we really treat ourselves and others and animals in a very way of like it's ours and we can do here whatever we want and uh, yes, it was frightened to see that. I hope
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. It was only a warning.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I mean, I'm just going back to one of the Old Testament Bible verses in Genesis that says God gave us dominion uh, over the animals, over the planet. But I guess he meant, but you still need to treat them properly.
That's right. In the book, uh, I I I go into the Bible. It took. I mean, after the contact, I didn't started to be religious or something like that. Even now, but after the contact, for many years I tried to understand what happened logically, because what happened for my consciousness and whatever I felt and understand was okay, but I wanted to understand it rationally. And one of the ways I looked for other places of knowledge in human knowledge and culture that speak the same. I mean, what I felt in their consciousness was a way of looking at reality. And I started to watch in our cultures, religious, everything. I started to look if there is something similar. And I saw many things that is getting very near in Buddhism and this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
20 years later, I was, I suddenly started to read the Bible. And it was very weird for me because I looked for everywhere else, but not the Bible, because I was born with the Bible and the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
And in the contact, it didn't have a connection to the Torah, to the Bible that I was in school learning. So I didn't look there. But uh, when I started to read, suddenly I realized that many things that the way they are written there have a very strong connection to their consciousness.
Right. Right.
And it's written with the simple stories like Adam and Eve and heaven, but there is a very strong way of uh, let you understand things that they are not in the words themselves, like they don't have to talk, but
Mm-hmm.
I translate it. And in this book, I read the book, I read the words, and in the words there is a very strong connection to that thing that I didn't saw anywhere else.
Right. Right.
For instance, um, for them, the way they think is not in our duality understanding. I mean, we live here in this physical world, but there is good, bad, up, down, and and that's why we can't. It's difficult for us to see the oneness. That black is white. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
light and darkness can be together. It's very hard for us to understand it. For them, they see the connection that they see them both, and this is one of the reasons that they are like happy, like they are complete with the good and bad. So it's good
Mm-hmm.
and bad, like light and darkness is light. So I say that in the story of Garden of Eden, before they ate from the fruit, they were in heaven. They were happy.
Mm-hmm.
And what the fruit was, the knowledge of good and bad. Now, most of the people think that the understanding of the knowledge of good and bad is that they didn't know how to separate good from bad. And
Right.
when they eat, they know what is good and what is bad. What I understand that is totally different. What is really written there is before they ate the fruit, good and bad for them was one. What happened to them when they ate the fruit, it made it separate
Right.
the good
Okay.
from bad.
Yeah.
And that was the start of physical world of dying and born again and die, and all this physical world started from that thing that happened in their consciousness.
Okay. And that separation has continued on to today. I mean, with religions, with separate countries,
Yes,
there's a lot of separation, and we've got a lot of work to do.
yes, yes, yes,
Yossi, I just quickly before I move on with my next question, the
yes.
prophets of the Old Testament, do you think they received the same sort of visitations that you had? Is that where they were getting their knowledge from?
I think that we start to realize now that the realm of our deeper consciousness is connected to wide things, to very lot of things. I mean, what we see in the out of body, I mean, our self out of from the body, or in the near death experience, or when uh, when we connect to other beings that they are not from the physical world and other dimensions, they are all connected to one. It's like one place that we human sometimes go there, have inspiration. We have songs, we have science, we have ideas. We write, we understand things because we go there for a minute. We get inspired and use it here. And I think from the old days we did it, human. We
Mm-hmm.
we did we did these kind of connections. And the same stories of angels, I think it's the same like the aliens today. It depends on how we translate it. If a guy is in a fear state and he didn't have a good chance like me that I had a uh, good experience with them, he can stay with his fear and be and this fear translate the alien like a reptilian or I don't know what. I mean, it depends on in our translation. And probably the people from the old times, when they had connections, they had the same ideas from that. And probably, I don't know how, you know, the root of the religions, probably there were very, very strong, high spirit humans that had connection to that realm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Do you think other people are having, I mean, a lot of other people are having similar experiences as you have had, but just don't remember?
of course, I think it's not only that they are not remember because it's so far out, because it's the connection is the main area of the connection is our subconsciousness, and we don't pay attention for that because it confuses us. We think of it as a imagination. We think that
Mm-hmm.
we invent it, but of course we have imagination and we invite things, but it's hard for us to separate what we subjective imagination. Excuse me. I'll close that. And what happened that when the connection is happening with them, the man is most of the time it's easy for him to think it was a dream, or I imagine it, or maybe I was sick, or things something like that. I don't say that there are not imagination and there are not people that just imagine all that, but I think that thousands of people did have connections. Only in Israel here, I met hundreds that had this connection and they didn't know what to do with that. They
Right.
didn't know how to translate it. There were most of them didn't talk about that because, you know, if you will tell if the boss in the work will heard that this guy had a contact with green beings, he will release him home.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very difficult to,
There's still a stigma attached.
yes. So people don't talk about it.
Yeah. Do you ever wonder why you were chosen? Do you think people are chosen by, or they get chosen by accident, or they're specifically targeted?
I think it's related to many things. It's one probably is a thing that uh, like purpose that you have before you came to live. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
before you're born,
Yep.
there is a situation that you know what I believe so that you know that who you're going to be, who going to be your parents, in what time you're going to born, and more or less what is your opportunity in in this life that you're going to have. You choose it.
Yeah.
And from this side, I think that it's like work. Everyone have his own work that he decide to do as he do it in this thing. Another thing is you choose the body that you going to be with your parents. And I noticed that the parents gave you the connection to your consciousness similar to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my family, there is a lot of out-of-body experiences and clinical death. And it seems that there is a thin layer between real consciousness and deep consciousness. And maybe the people that have this connection, they're a little bit more open to that realm of existence. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why they have it.
And I've read a lot and listened to a lot of the experts in this field talk about babies still being in that consciousness state up until a certain age, before the world starts to pollute their environment.
Yeah,
But a lot of people wonder why babies just suddenly stare up and will suddenly smile and laugh and as if there was someone there.
yeah, exactly. I um, I saw that too, and what I understood, and it's that the baby in the womb, what I heard, and I think it's truth. Before he is born, he is connected to the oneness.
Mm-hmm.
And in the instance that he born, he forget everything. But he he doesn't have this duality thinking yet.
Yeah.
So he's still open, like he was in the womb, is open for everything. You see, most of the children and the small babies are happy without a reason. I mean, they're just happy because they breathe, or just happy because they live. Only on the years that the duality of good, bad, and started to be logical and rational, you started to block yourself from that oneness. And
Yep.
but you have to do it. It's natural, and this is the growth that we
Yep.
do it.
Yep. Couple more questions, Yossi. Disclosure, is that something that you think about, like full disclosure? We've spoken quite a bit about that lately, but if you think about it a lot, do you really think these beings, particularly the ones that you came in contact with, are really ready to meet us on an even keel, on an even platform?
Well, I think that I had 30 years more than to think about that and to see what's going on. In the beginning, I I didn't talk about it even 5 years because it was so weird. The connection is very, very life shattering
Mm-hmm.
for everyone that's going to have it.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons that I know that I think that aliens wait for us to be ready for that, because it could be harming, it could harm us. If we are not ready, it could be very, there's so much confusing. Even religious people now afraid of the idea that there is life outside of our planet. But I know that when the connection gonna be, it's only good. I mean, most of the people will, it will be very easy for them to believe in God, but not particularly in a religious way. And that's why I think that they are waiting for us to be ready. And but I see many signs of that it's going, it's developing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see it in the media. This is the mass media that most of us consume, and the media convince us. Or and you see movies like the movie. What's the name of the movie with the linguistic woman that they send her to make the contact with the aliens that came from, what's the name of the movie?
That's a recent movie.
Yeah, couple
Yeah.
of years. That
Yeah.
the movie was
The
named
Arrival. The Arrival.
Arrival. That's
Yeah.
it. It's a very important movie that I don't know why the people don't realize, but the movie really talks about the thing that gonna be between us. This is the language, because
Mm-hmm.
the language is the way our thinking. I mean, the language is a translation of our thinking, and they think a little bit different. So the like the border between us and them will be the language.
Right.
And if we start to use our language in a different way, we will get to the place that we could connect with them uh, with our consciousness.
Okay. You're
So,
you're writing a book. Releasing a book soon?
yes, in a couple of months, I think. It's now in translation to English.
What's it called?
One,
One. That's a
yes,
very appropriate title.
very short.
Yeah. It's going to
Yeah,
be available usual places, Amazon.
yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to publish it, but it's going to be on Amazon. And this book going to be a collection of many years that of my study of my contact and others with relations and the things that I see in our culture that connect with that.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of the book going to be the testimony of the contact itself. It was much more wider than what I told you now because it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
many small parts that are very important to, and I think to many other people that have connection, that's going to help them to understand what happened to them, why the fear, why the good feeling, why the different translations from, and then I go to the um, hypnotic regression that gave me much more things to relate to and to understand more. And two dreams that they gave me, very specific dream and detailed dream to understand a little bit more the connection that we had and how to deal with the problems like the fear. In the first, I didn't understand why I had to be afraid so much if they are good. So why they don't show themselves and what I didn't have any proof for their being with me.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I have to be alone with this thing so many years? I had many questions. So in the book, I solve it, and there is a very nice big picture of all these questions together.
Okay. Have you had follow-up visits in the last few years?
Not, I didn't have any face-to-face visit like I had there. I
Mm-hmm.
think I tried once before I started to write the book. I felt responsible to do it right, to
Yeah.
write the book right, because I know that many people have the same connection that they need help because there is a lot of confusion and a lot of fear.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
decided to write the book for the people to know that the fear is not something that they have to go through.
Yeah, we've reported many times the number of people who are staying silent because of the fear,
Yeah.
and but today, I mean, for a start, MUFON, for example, offers people the chance to come in and talk about their experience in a safe environment. And I guess the work we're doing here at the moment is to
Yes.
encourage people to come out and tell their story.
It's very important. One of the main reasons for that book for me is that to
Yeah,
help people. And I know that from lots of people that I talk with them, that after they talk about the thing and I talk to them and they realize that the fear was really their fear,
hmm,
their inner behavior from that shock that they have with them,
yeah,
and they are not bad.
okay,
And but what I wanted to say that I tried to have another meeting with them face to face. I couldn't do that. I didn't have the physical or the physical strength
yeah,
to be face to face with them once again. It seems that they like on that time the situation was much more easier for me to do that. And today I have to work a lot,
Hmm.
once again, to do it in a proper way that I had the chance to face them face to face.
Right.
But I do it with meditation, and sometimes they come with a dream, and I get help from them.
Okay. Well, Yossi, it's been a real pleasure speaking with you today. Fascinating discussion, and we'll look forward to your book being released in a couple of months.
Thank you for having me once again.
Been a
And
pleasure. Yossi Ronen joining us today.